What is going on, guys? Back here, another video, and we need to get into Money in the Bank this year. Who do you think is going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase this year? Now, last year, we had, one of the great cash-ins of Damian Priest, and it was pretty nice. Pretty nice. Then we had Tiffany Stratton win the Money in the Bank briefcase last year, which, came into a great cash in. Great cash in. But, when you have two-time Money in the Bank winner CM Punk, when you think of Money in the Bank, you think of The Miz, you think of when Randy Orton won it, when John Cena won it, the times that, Captain Charisma Christian could have won it and should have won it back then, but that is a different story for another day. There were the good winners, like I just named. We had the bad winners in like Jack Swagger or Damian Sandow. So, who do y'all think is going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase this year? Now, let's just start with the women's, right? I wonder if they're going to pull anybody from NXT up, because honestly, if we're going to get into people that probably should be winning the Money in the Bank briefcase, women's wise, it should be Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez is a commodity that she's on the rise. She's the prodigy, and if you're the prodigy, you need to win everything. And she didn't win the Women's North American title, but she won the NXT title, and she held down that division for so long. I think she needs to be rewarded with a Money in the Bank briefcase this year. To see her toy around with the Money in the Bank briefcase and go after the likes of Io Sky, which she's current champion. No telling she's going to be champion after WrestleMania. Or Tiffany Stratton, who is currently the women's champion. We don't know if she is or isn't going to be champion after WrestleMania. But the amount of feuds that Roxanne Perez can have and would cook in, I would say Roxanne Perez. Now, another person I think should win is she is currently injured and she may not come back till May of this year, is Asuka. I feel like Asuka, she was a part of the Kabuki Warriors, Damage Control. She has won a Money in the Bank briefcase before. And if they can make Charlotte the first two-time Women's Royal Rumble winner, you can make Asuka the first two-time Money in the Bank winner. I think that that's not too much to ask. So my top two picks will be Asuka and Roxanne Perez. Now, I wouldn't give it to a Liv Morgan. I wouldn't give it to a Rhea Ripley. I wouldn't put star-studded people in the match. I would put, like I said, Roxanne Perez, Asuka. I'd put Asuka in there. I'd put Dakota Kai in it. I would put B-Fab in it. I would put people that haven't won a title yet on the main roster, or people that we may or may not have forgotten about. So, with that all being said, Roxanne Perez and or Asuka. Now, let's get over to the men's. The men's Money in the Bank now, I think, personally, somebody that should have won the Intercontinental title last year, but they gave it to Sami Zayn, Chad Gable. Chad Gable says he wants to win a singles title this year, and that American May will be wearing gold. Now, honestly, Chad Gable, I don't care if you put the world title on him for a month until the next pay-per-view. I would give it to Chad Gable. Because Chad Gable, he's been one of the best wrestlers. He's honestly very entertaining. He's good on the mic. I don't really know what was holding him back last year from him beating Gunther, but they gave it to Sami Zayn instead. And had Chad Gable training Sami Zayn for a title that Chad Gable wanted to win? No, I honestly think that Chad Gable should win the Money in the Bank briefcase. He's been doing some good things. It's alleged that he's Grand Ella Monaco. I think that he really should be winning the Money in the Bank briefcase this year. Now, this next pick, he's honestly been losing a lot, and he's been putting on some banger matches with the likes of Jimmy Uso, LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't know if he's faced Shinsuke yet. Let me scratch that. Randy Orton, LA Knight, Jimmy Uso. He's been I wouldn't say a hot commodity, but he's one of my underdogs to win the Money in the Bank briefcase when it comes to the men's, Carmelo Hayes. Now, if you've never seen NXT, go watch Carmelo Hayes in NXT. You know, Mr. Two Belts Carmelo, Melo don't miss. Well, let's not miss on the fact that Carmelo has not even won the United States Championship yet. We've had LA Knight win it twice. We've had Shinsuke win it, after a hiatus. I think Carmelo Hayes, if not Chad Gable. And he's been a great heel so far. This whole thing with The Miz. I think this is why I'm saying Carmelo. He has The Miz in his corner as his tag partner, right? And since The Miz has won the Money in the Bank briefcase twice, I would say have this storyline where Carmelo Hayes cashes in, wins the belt, and then The Miz is like, hey, I helped you. Let me get a title run. Let me get a shot at it. Hey, I wouldn't be mad at it. Carmelo Hayes and Miz feud, because The Miz, when he's on the mic in a feud and not just being used backstage, The Miz can cook on the mic. So I would say Carmelo Hayes, Chad Gable, and this third one, I think a lot of people would agree with me on this, Dominic Mysterio. I think it's his time to break away from the Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley things and start to win singles title. He hasn't won a title since the North American title, which was, a mediocre type run, honestly. And outside of Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, the Judgment Day haven't really had good title defenses. I mean, you can count Liv Morgan in that, having a good, a good title defense, every now and then. But Dominic, I would say he should use the Judgment Day, win the briefcase, break off from the Judgment Day, and start to do his own thing. I think that would be a good thing for Dominic, and I honestly don't know, how this would go, So, my women's pick, Roxanne Perez, Asuka. My men's pick, Chad Gable, Carmelo Hayes, Dominic Mysterio. Let me know who y'all think or want to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, and I will see y'all in the next one. I'm out.